Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shafika binti Amran from tutorial 10. Today we're gonna study the wavelength by using simulation of wave interference. Wavelength is the distance between successive crests of a wave, especially point in a sound wave or electromagnetic wave. So in this experiment, there are three objectives that we try to achieve. Firstly, to observe the interference pattern with light. Secondly, to demonstrate light behave as a wave. And lastly, to carry out calculation related to double slit interference. I pass to the next person.
Hi, my name is Hazika Ahmed Yusuf and I am from tutorial 10. So, I will present about procedure for objective 1. First, go to the wave interference simulator and click on interference for experiment objective 1. Click on the light and then click on screen and intensity to see what happened to the wave interference based on intensity graph. Move the frequency to the red color and amplitude to the 0. Make sure the separation is constant with is 1500 nanometer. Start the experiment and see what happened in the intensity graph. Repeat the experiment with the same color, which is red and amplitude with different amplitude, which is middle, and maximum amplitude. See what happened in this intensity graph. Repeat the experiment with different frequency, which is green color, blue color, and the last one is violet with three different amplitude, 0, middle, and maximum. And see what happened to the wavelength and frequency as the color changes. That's all for objective 1. We will move to the result for objective 1.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Ikwan Rushaid bin Jasri and I am from tutorial 8. We'll be explaining the results of each objective. So after manipulating the color of light, which is red, green, blue and violet, we need to observe the interference pattern. So the separation between the graph of intensity for each amplitude, which is 0 amplitude, middle amplitude and maximum amplitude, is observed, and the wavelength and frequency changes is explained. It is all for experiment for objective 1. Moving on to the next objective.
Hello, my name is Nur Amira binti Muhammad Muhaimin and I am from tutorial 12. So I'll be explaining about objective 2. Firstly, we have to change the setting from wave interference and click slits. Firstly, change the tab that says 1 slit to 2 slits. A color is chosen, so I will choose blue color and the amplitude is set to a maximum. Then, the slit width is set to 200 nanometer, while slit separation is set to 1600 nanometer. The pattern of the wave and intensity chart will be described in the result. Before changing anything in the setup, Calculate the velocity of the wave. The wavelength and frequency of the color is determined. By using the data obtained, the velocity is calculated. Moving on to the next step, by using the double green arrows, move the slit closer to the light source, and the pattern of the wave is observed, together with the intensity chart. Now, move the slit further from the light source, and the wavelength and the intensity chart is observed and recorded in the result. Then we observe, and then the observation and the setup will get a screenshot. The steps, the steps is repeated with various slit, slit width, slit separation, slit distance to the screen. That is all for objective 2. Moving on to the result.
So, so after performing all the steps for objective 2, it is observed that when the slit is closer to the light source, the the graph of intensity shows a low value, while when the slit is farther to the light source, it shows that the graph of intensity has a higher peak of value. Moving on to the last objective.
For the last objective, this experiment to explain to carry out calculation related to double slit interference. The first step is click on the wave interference simulator and click slit. Okay. The second step is click on the top tab that say light and change it one slit to two slit. Click screen and intensity. Pick a color with the frequency and sorry. Set the slit distance to the screen L at the middle. Frequency to highest setting. And slit width as small as possible. And the slit separation D as large as possible. And then use the measuring tab to measure L, the distance to the screen. Okay, the result is explained by Ikram.
So for the objective 3, we need to locate the two first order maxima, which is one is above the middle maximum and one is below. Using the formula given, we need to calculate the wavelength and fill in the data in table provided. So for the part B, locate the two minima above the middle maximum and using the formula given to calculate the lambda, the wavelength, and fill in the data in the table provided. That is all for this experiment. So moving on to the conclusion.
Okay, to conclude what we have done today in this experiment using this simulation, there are lots of different factors that can vary the interference of waves, such as pattern of light with different amplitude, slit width, and length of the line segment. It can also affect the amplitude, intensity chart, and the difference of wave itself to produce. So that's all from us. Thank you.